So for a parent who hears for the first time a disclosure of sexual abuse, a very common emotion would be anger. How would you suggest they manage that?
I'll take a deep breath. But I think anger is a warranted, as a really natural, normal feeling, emotion to have, isn't it? I guess, I've heard parents talk about having thoughts of doing all sorts of things to the person who harmed their child, and rightly so. We can have these thoughts, but of course we're not going to act on them. We can't act on them. And if we were to share some of that stuff with our child, that could be a really scary thing. Like, oh my goodness, mum's going to go out with a shotgun, or dad's going to go and drive this person down. So it's absolutely normal and appropriate to have anger towards, and all sorts of other feelings towards, this person that has harmed my child in this way. But I guess the message is we need to try and, certainly when our child's around, to try and keep that a little bit measured. And I think our children would want us to express anger towards this person who harmed them, but in a way that's not going to kind of freak them out. And then you can talk to any number of other people about your emotions and let everything out. And again, we would also always say that if this is something that you are really struggling with, then it's probably worthwhile you seeking out your own support. And as we touched a little bit on the ACC model of care with sensitive claims, and the wonderful part about that is that there's also whānau support sessions available. So that means that we can have parenting sessions with the parent alone and be touching on, it's not their own individual support, but certainly around their capacity as a parent, we can be supporting on lots of levels, including how do I manage these big feelings that I'm having right now towards the person who harmed my child. Yeah.
And I think the thing to kind of remember is that, your child knows you. So if you're someone who gets a bit gruff and has big reactions, you're probably going to do that in this situation. And as we were talking about before, it's just a matter of, if you can at all, take a deep breath and try and turn down the volume a little bit. Or if you do get really angry, make sure you repair. Make sure you go back to your child and go, hey, do you know what? I got really angry there and I'm sorry if I scared you.
Because I was just going to say, I can remember cases where that response from a dad, for example, has been massive anger, and the little person has misinterpreted that anger as not towards the person who's offended, but towards them. So then, oh, dad's really angry, it must be about me because I'm 8 and that's how my brain works. It can get a bit mixed up if it's not repaired later, and if that dad's not able to say, hey, it wasn't you I was angry about, it was this person who harmed you.
Sure.
That actually just made me think, Sam, I'm probably going slightly off kilter here, but sometimes for little people when they're angry, because they're going to have an angry response too, or can have an angry response, is sometimes the person they're angry about is not the person who did them harm, but about the person who was supposed to be keeping them safe. So we've had situations where the safe parent, the protective parent, has kind of been on the receiving end of the child's distress and anger, and you can see developmentally that the child's going to probably take that out on the person they feel safest with. But that can be really hard for the parent who didn't know and was trying their very best. So again, us trying to support that parent to say, hey, there's a normal aspect of the child doing this, and they're doing this probably because they love and they feel safe with you, and let's let you take care of yourself because your probably child just needs to do this for a bit. And if you're able to handle it and contain it clearly, we're not allowing a child to just lose it and have a good go, but do that in a constructive way if possible, then that can be a really an important thing that helps build the strength of that relationship.